All right, here we have one of those episodes where the episode is actually something that is so self-contained that it would actually make for a good TTRPG module. Granted, you would have to modify it a certain extent because you're probably going to have more than one player, and well, you would also need to consider which aspect and which part of it, because has an A story and a B story, which are actually like two different sides of the same coin. But if playing this as a module, you don't need to play both sides of the coin. You could play the main plot with Picard and a bunch of different aliens we've never seen before, or you could play the other side with Riker and the rest of the crew of the Enterprise dealing with the Picard imposter. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this, and something that they never get into in this, is that they replaced Picard with a duplicate to simulate having Picard not be gone. Is the same thing true of the others? You see, because Martina Harrow. Now, nothing in the episode is actually made a comment about how she looks or how she acts. Picard suspects her because of the fact that she knows things that a real Starfleet cadet wouldn't know. I mean, she knows about how Picard went to Mintaka 3. Well, Mintaka 3 is the planet from Who Watches the Watchers, where it was a Prime Directive violation for the Federation to establish a listening post on that planet. The whole Prime Directive thing got horribly broken when the Mintakans found the listening post. And, the whole giant cultural contamination thing of first contact with a pre-warp civilization. Heck, the Mintakans are a pre-industrial civilization. They're farmers. They don't really have machinery. And why would Martina Harrow know about that? Yeah, that's how she blew her cover. Because she's a replica who are aliens who are telepathically absorbing information from their captives. And Martina Harrow's understanding of the Federation is based on Picard's memories. And she talks about things Picard would know about because of the fact that. But the aliens who are doing this, because of the fact that they lack the ability to understand the concept of leadership, because their race has a hive mind, and thus all of them have the same memories, is what makes them unable to properly duplicate her, is because of the fact that they don't understand that this is information that Martina Harrow wouldn't have. And of course, there's the whole Fyrox plague thing, which we didn't actually see in any episode. It was talked about in this episode as something that Picard was related to. Location was at Cor Caroli, and plague was eradicated with the assistance of the crew of the Enterprise D. And Martina Harrow knows about it, but there's no reason for anyone outside the Enterprise crew to know about it. And again, it's just like one of those things. It's like the Federation doesn't, do news broadcasts of things like this. If you know about this, it's because you have access to information that is not public knowledge. Anyway, though, so these particular aliens are not ever named. They have advanced technology, but we don't actually see their technology that much. And that's the part of it that gets weird, is that when we look around in the environment that Picard is imprisoned in, that is the only true demonstration of their technology, and also the method by which they abducted Picard from the Enterprise. Those are the only examples of their technology we have. Now, we do know that the Federation can actually block this alien race from using their teleporter technology by force fields. And in fact, that is a major plot point at the end of the episode, is that this particular race, they imprison them in a force field on the Enterprise bridge. And then Picard sits there in his chair and is like, yes, actually, you will do what I tell you to do because this is my ship. And you're prisoners now. Sucks to be you. Anyway, though, how would you use this in a TTRPG episode, though? Yeah. See, the real question with this one is that you need to do something that the people who are the players won't be able to remember having seen in an episode. So playing this straight, you'd have to put in some sort of weird twist to it to hide the plot hook. Because if people look at the plot hook and they're like, oh, yes, I've seen this plot hook before, some of them might just play along with it. Others will do weird, strange things and try to subvert it just because they think that the original story was boring or didn't like it or something. Yeah, we have no idea what this even was. I mean, someone mentioned that it existed. That's all we know about it. This was a place that Picard went to. Here we have a picture of Picard and the others in the episode. Is that Bettina Harrow or? Yeah, I think that's Bettina Harrow and not the what was his name again? Myzarian guy. Yeah, this is Bettina Harrow and the Myzarian guy. If I remember right, the Myzarian guy decided that because of the fact that they were told not to open the door, he's not going to attempt to open the door because he was told not to open the door. And they all get zapped with this agony ray to, whatever. Also, notable is that there are very few episodes that have had the Chalnoth in them. Again, this is one of those things that's noteworthy for Star Trek Lower Decks, is the simple fact that they actually have a Chalnoth show up in an episode. Most of the episodes with the Chalnoth actually, there's really just one. Most of what we know about the Chalnoth comes from the episode Allegiance. Because it's a race that really, while they're brutal anarchists, they aren't a particularly powerful race in the galactic scene. I mean, having won the fight a Klingon, the Chalnoth is probably going to win. But having the Chalnoth as a race fight the Klingon Empire is probably going to win because the Chalnoth are a bunch of anarchists who don't really have a proper empire. Oh, yeah, they made a discussion of Chalnoth words. Yeah, okay. Anyway, though, Esok. We've only ever seen 2 Chalnoth on screen. Esok is one of them. The weird fangs are an interesting touch. They make him look scary without, making him look like a monster. Anyway, so doing stuff with this in the episode. Well, you could just abduct the players from the ship the same way Picard got abducted. Or you could have the players trying to rescue someone who got abducted because of the fact that most of the main cast in this episode were on the ship trying to figure out what was wrong with the Picard imposter. Because, again, one of the unnamed aliens was pretending to be Picard. Now, one thing that's interesting is that in this episode, we do not find out whether or not there is an imposter pretending to be Esok, or an imposter pretending to be Kovathol. Martina Harrow is unique in the fact that there are very few times we see Bolians with hair. However, very notably, Picard does not say that she looks wrong because Bolians don't have hair. That is something very, very noteworthy in the episode. And it's also not the only time we see Bolians with hair. However, it's very common to see female Bolians who are completely bald, and normal to see male Bolians who are completely bald. Why some Bolians have hair has never, ever been talked about. So if you want to have Bolians with hair, that's fine. Uh, aliens who are weird. Maybe it's kind of like how some humans have beards and some don't. Some Bolians have the ability to grow hair on their heads and some don't. Aliens. Anyway, though, so for the episode, having the players try to figure out if their commanding officer is an alien imposter is something that would make for an interesting thing. Because, you as the game master have to put in subtle hints that something may or may not be right. And you need to, avoid the murder hobo thing. It's like, oh, he's a shapeshifter. Kill him! Because let's face it, when in Star Trek have they ever actually taken the approach of kill the shapeshifter? Klingons do that. Starfleet doesn't. Because, realistically, if you look at it from the Romulan perspective, you want to imprison the shapeshifter and then interrogate the shapeshifter to find out what the shapeshifter is doing. Oh, wait, that's what Picard does. Because they, in the end, imprison the alien intruders and interrogate the alien intruders to find out what the alien intruders are here to do. And yeah, this is one of those episodes where making it a fun story would be the main challenge. Is that putting people in a box where they have to solve puzzles to escape? Sure, that's doable. Will they have fun escaping the box, though? Oh, do we have a picture of the main part of that one? Or are these like the only pictures? I think those are the only pictures. Oh yeah, that's another thing. We never find out where Picard got beamed to. We know it's not on the Enterprise, and we know that they've brought people from at least 2 other planets to this location. Actually, we don't entirely know if the Chalnoth and Myzarian delegates for this meeting were actually abducted from their homeworlds or from ships. I don't think the episode actually says how they got captured, just that they did, which is rather interesting from a lore backstory perspective, because if you were to do this in a TTRPG, you are free to use whoever you want. And of course, you probably wouldn't use the whole understanding the concept of leadership thing. You'd probably think of some other logic for this because, again, you don't want the players to immediately recognize the plot. They're like, yes, it's this plot. So we want us to open the green door and then turn the lever upside down. Got it. Like that sort of out of universe knowledge. It does go quite a long ways in messing with stories. And again, you want to avoid that. So, Mizar. We've never seen Mizar. Now, we have an interesting footnote about Mizar, where the Mizarians have a history of not fighting wars. They are a warp-capable humanoid species who do not fight wars and would rather allow their civilization to be enslaved and persecuted over fighting wars. But yeah, that's literally all we know about them, other than the fact that their civilization has been enslaved 6 times in the last 300 years. It is currently affiliated with the United Federation of Planets, however, as of Strange New Worlds. Which Strange New Worlds is actually a prequel to the original series. So that would mean the Mizarians have been affiliated with the Federation for a very long time, and presumably that means that they're actually very close to Earth, relatively speaking, for Federation worlds. Hmm. Oh yeah, here we are. Mizar system is 88 light years from Sol, which, yeah, that is actually quite close on a galactic scale, anyways. Oh yeah, like Agents of Yesterday and Star Trek Online also used Mizar as the site of a Federation colony, suggesting that the Mizarians are in Federation space and that Mizar was a member of the Federation. It, in the 2409 time period, that is. And oh yeah, in cut content there was a city name dropped. Okay then. So yeah, the interesting thing with it being subjugated 6 times in a matter of 3 centuries, though, that was as of TNG, which 2 of those centuries would have been before Strange New Worlds, I think. So yeah, we don't know if which of those happened before the Federation got involved with the Mizarians. Anyway, Mizarians would probably be a race like, oh, you want to be nice to us and have us build stuff for you? Okay, we'll do that. Anyways, so that's a bit of a tangent. Anyway, so using this in a TTRPG, having crew try to find the imposter aliens, sure, why not? That's kind of like a typical shapeshifter thing. That is actually an interesting question with this, though, is that they don't really explain how they impersonate people. We know that the members of this race are telepathic, and it's this telepathic ability that causes them to have a hive mind. And this hive mind causes every member of their race to have the same memories as every other member of their race. Also, apparently that force field gimmick actually prevented those 2 aliens from being able to telepathically communicate with the other members of their race. That was fun. Also, this race has a very, very depraved concept of morality because of the fact that all of the members of the race functionally have the same personality. So the race, while they are technically individuals, all of them have the same thoughts and desires. And just like this person is taking out the trash, this person is watching TV, this person is uh, chiseling a sculpture. Well, the next day it might be, rotated. And yeah, do they actually have shape-shifting powers? That's a very, very interesting question. This says something about creating replicas. Uh, I'm not entirely sure if the replica was actually, one of the aliens or a person. It's like there was some sort of thing where one of the aliens gets exposed and transforms, but I'm not sure if that was like a transporter swap out or not. Anyway, though, it's a very, very weird concept as an alien race because it's an alien race whose sole purpose in the story was to annoy Picard and cause Picard to have a reason to have a logical deduction event. And after that, they were never seen again. Ah, well. Which, to be honest, makes it a very interesting race to work with from a TTRPG perspective because of the fact that you have a lot of freedom to use them to do whatever you want. And with that idea in mind, you could definitely find some very, very interesting things to do with them. And yeah, that's about as much as I could say about this because it's almost like a blank canvas. Well, we know the shape of the canvas, but that's about it. At any rate, I think I'm done here. See you next time.